Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Global Education Study Abroad Virtual Expo. This is the September edition in 2021. We've got fantastic universities out here for you to have a look at, to get familiar with, and to ask all your questions. You know, it's a tough decision that you're going to be making. And we've got one of our favorite partners here, and we've got Martin Klock, who leads the international recruitment. He's the manager that we deal with. He knows all about the university, what it's going to take, the expectation, as well as a football avid fan. So we can get talking about football all day. We're just going to wait for a few more people to sign in. And while we wait for them to sign in, a little bit of housekeeping for everybody. All our webinars are recorded and we do share them out with everybody. We will send you a newsletter as well as them website as well. A little bit of information for you. Please take the time to go through our website. There's a lot of content and information that's out there. And please, any questions, put them in the chat box and the Q&A section as we can. My name is George. I'll be your host this evening. My email is george@global-education.co.za. And otherwise, just take a photo of that barcode at the top left of my screen and we'll get going. Martin, if you want to share your screen, and the floor is yours.
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Martin Clark. I'm the Regional Manager for Sub-Saharan Africa at Brunel University London. I've been working with Global for a very, very long time, going back to my time where I used to live in Cyprus many, many years ago. So they're one of my best partners across Africa, super professional people, and you can trust your application to it anywhere, whether it's to us or to anywhere else. Don't hesitate to use Global for your application. So we'll start by introducing whereabouts we are, first of all. We are Brunel University London, but only just. We're on the west edge of London in a town called Uxbridge. And from Uxbridge, we have 2 tube lines and an overground line, and you can get in the centre of London within 25 minutes. So it's very, very convenient and very accessible from there. We're also only 15 minutes from Heathrow Airport, which is very convenient for when you arrive. But being where we are has a couple of very big advantages. The first one is the cost of living. If you go to a university in central London, you can be paying £1,500 to £2,000 a month and be sharing accommodation. But at Brunel, all our accommodation is on our campus. It's ranked number 2 in the UK, and it's a fraction of the price. It's only around £550 a month for a single ensuite room. And they're very, very nice. I'll show you those very shortly. And the biggest advantage we have is this. This is our beautiful campus, and it's very unique. It's the only one like it in London. Every other London university has accommodation in one area, and then every day you'll have to get buses and trains across to your class and back again. Whereas here, everything is in one place. The whole campus is here, and there's a concourse that runs right the way through the middle, and you can walk from one end to the other in less than 10 minutes. But first of all, I'd like to talk to you about the current COVID situation. The UK is a very, very safe environment. I think everywhere has had this Delta variant, but the numbers are pretty steady now. But because of the vaccinations, almost 90% of the UK population are fully vaccinated now. And the numbers, the hospitalizations and everything are very, very low. The university is one of the safest, if not the safest in the UK, looking at the statistics. Universities such as Newcastle, Northumbria, University of Central Lancashire, in the past year since March 2020 have had well over 1,000 cases. But at Brunel, we've only had 58, and 28 of those were staff who caught it off of campus. Because it's a single campus, it's easy to protect, easy to monitor. The whole campus is set up with one-way systems, social distancing, screens, sanitization station, antibacterial wipe stations, and we actually have our own vaccine testing center on campus. So at any time, students or staff can just walk in or book online, and you can have 2 tests a week, and it's free of charge, and you'll get the results in 30 minutes. And coming from red list countries, we have this traffic light system, unfortunately, but it's for the safety of everybody, I suppose. But coming from a red list country, you have to quarantine in a hotel near the airport for a period of 10 days and take 2 COVID tests in that time. The expense is high. It's around £2,250 for that, but the university will reimburse you for that, so you don't have any cost. It will come in the form of a reduction from your tuition fees. If in the meantime, South Africa or Zimbabwe changed to amber, then you can self-isolate on campus at no charge. We won't charge you for the time you're in the room. And the students that do come and self-isolate are given a menu every morning, and you can choose your 3 meals per day. And the student services will check up on you every day, see how your health and well-being is as well. So we really do take care of you in that sense. But coming to the UK does have its advantages in as much that once you've come out, within 8 weeks, you can be fully vaccinated, because you do have this immigration health surcharge, which enables you to use the National Health Service. So you can immediately walk in any of the state vaccination centres, have your first vaccine, and 8 weeks later have the second, so you're fully vaccinated. So it does give you that advantage as well. But the UK VI, first of all, up until a couple of months ago, they insisted that all students have to come and study on campus. They have to be on campus by the end of September. But now the universities have campaigned and they've relented on that. So it is possible for you to begin your course this September online, but they have insisted that all students should be in the UK on campus by April the 6th, 2022. So that is a bit of leeway anyway to allow you to assess the situation, to see whether it's going to get better, worse, things like that, and you can start online. But full face-to-face teaching will commence this intake. We as staff have been working from home for the last 18 months, but from next Monday, we will be back in for at least 3 days a week. So it's starting to get back to normal now. The vaccination really works. If you have the opportunity to get vaccinated, I really, really suggest you do, because this is a real thing. It's doing a lot of damage. I've seen lots of people, known people who have died who I knew. My son's a footballer, and he's had one of his teammates that actually died when he was fit, 24 years old. This is a real thing. So if you have the opportunity, please do get vaccinated. It protects you, protects your family, and it protects others. Right, off of the miserable stuff, onto the good stuff. So the thing about Brunel University is that we are very career focused. Everything we do is geared up towards making sure you have a job at the end of your studies. A lot of universities tend to forget this. They just want you to get you in, take your money, give you a certificate, and wave goodbye. We do not do that. We were the first university in the UK to include 1-year paid internships within our undergraduate programs. And so you still have the option to do a 3-year program, but by far the best option is the 4-year program, where you'll do year 1 and year 2, and we find you a year's paid internship within industry. And all of our partners are blue chip companies, top companies that as soon as an employer sees that work experience on a CV, it will almost guarantee you a job. And we also give you professional training as well. Every student, we teach you how to write professional CVs, cover letters, search effectively for jobs. We'll also bring in HR professionals from your field to put you through mock interviews, because trust me, one of the scariest things you'll ever do is your first job interview. So we put you through that, And then at the end of it, you'll get professional feedback of what you were doing right, as well as what you were doing wrong. So we really prepare you for the job market. We have a fantastic professional development centre, otherwise known as our sort of job shop. It's ranked number 4 in the UK, and it's very unique because most job centres with universities are manned by graduates, and they send them on training courses and they learn from books. Ours are manned by professional people. So if you're doing civil engineering, you'll go in and you'll take advice from an ex-civil engineer. So he's talking from experience, not from a textbook. And we find this really, really works. And they're there to assist you from the first week when you arrive. You'll meet them. You're allowed to work 20 hours a week during term time, 40 hours a week during holidays. And of course, you now have the option for the 2-year post-study work visa. So all students coming now, you can stay for a further 2 years after you graduate. And you can work either within the campus in a department or within your chosen field to get job experience. And as an undergraduate, when you come back from that year's work experience, and it's paid, you can earn anywhere between £15,000 to £25,000. So it's like getting a year free, really. But what it does, it gives you a much greater understanding of your subject. And it's shown you've also got a 40% better chance of getting first-class honours than if you just done a straight 3-year degree. And every student gets a personal tutor from day one. And so when you come back from your work experience, you sit down with your personal tutor, you say, right, I've been working here, this is what I want to do. So we make, for 99% of the courses in the final year, we make the modules optional. Because if we feel that you've been working in it for a year, you'll pretty much know what you want to do. And many universities will have compulsory modules, which we think is pointless. So you'll sit with your personal tutor, look at all the options, and you shape the final year how you want it to be. So every lecture is chosen by you, you enjoy it better, you achieve better grades, and you'll get a better job. And that really works. It's we've got about 99% of our students are either employed before they leave or within 6 months of graduating. And our starting salaries are on average £5,000 a year more than the national average. So you don't go in at ground level, you go in at a much higher level. So it's we're really, really job focused. Even after you leave, you can still come back, log into your portal for up to 3 years afterwards and contact your personal tutor, your lecturers, the placement centre, and just ask questions of them. If you're going into a job and you think, wow, I wasn't taught this, then come back and ask. It's no problem. We want to take care of you even after you leave. It's all about you, not about us. So we'll start at the bottom left of the campus. The L-shaped building here is our law school. The law school has just broken into the world's top 100, which is fantastic news for us. And the work placements there, we work very closely with the High Courts of London. We have a partnership with Sherry Blair, the wife of former Prime Minister Tony Blair, or you can go to the European Court of Human Rights and work there. We have nearly 1,000 students working in 60 different countries across the world. So you don't have to do your placement in the UK. It can be overseas as well, particularly in fields like environmental things. Our students fly off to environmental disasters around the world and do their work placements on site there as well. So it's totally flexible where you want to do that. The two grey roof buildings directly in front of the law school is our wonderful Pathway College. It's called Brunel Pathway College, but it's run by a company called Navitas, who are a foundation and year one provider. They also do pre-masters for students who have got, say, a third-class honours. You can go there, do a 3-month pre-masters, and then join the main programme. But Navitas are, I would say, the best pathway provider because all of their colleges are on university campuses. So if you go to a different one, they often have standalone colleges. You move to an area, you get used to the surroundings, your friends, everything. And then after a year, you pack up and move to a different country and start all over again. With Navitas, the only thing that will change here is your classroom. So from the time you arrive, even if you're in their pathway college, you'll be a Brunel student living in Brunel accommodation, everything, you're a Brunel student. And like I say, the only thing that changes is the classroom. I'll show you later the different pathway routes that they have. It's really expanded and it's going to expand even further. But the great thing about it is for, say, A-level students, IB students, if you have a bad day when you do your exams, and for example, most of our entry requirements are 3 Bs at A-level, but if you have a bad day and you get 3 Cs, you don't have to do a foundation. You can do a year 1 entry with Navitas, and then you go straight on to year 2. They have an excellent teaching system, very small class sizes, and have a unique teaching method. And we've seen their students often achieve the direct entry students there. Highly recommend them. Moving across the half circle building there, with the blue glass, that is our Life and Health Sciences school that was built 3 years ago at a cost of £22 million. Absolutely state of the art in there. We have biomedical sciences, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, psychology, things like that. Our biomedical sciences programs are very highly ranked. We partner with the 3 largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. GlaxoSmithKline are just down the road, Bayer and Pfizer in Germany as well. And GlaxoSmithKline actually helped design our clinical labs, so they're absolutely world class, and they take most of our students on their placements. So to have the world's best pharmaceutical company on your CV is a big boost. Also, the great thing there is our sports science programs. We are one of Europe's leading sports universities, the current varsity champions. We were a hosting venue for the London Olympics, Rugby World Cup, World Athletics Championships. And our most famous graduate is Mo Farah. And the silver tube, the long silver tube you see in front of the school there, is a complete athletics arena under one roof. It's got the longest straight indoor running track in Britain. And just across the road out of picture is an full-size Olympic arena. And next to that, we have AstroTurf pitches in a whole range from tennis, football, hockey, and then about 50 grass pitches for all the various sports. We do around 157 different sports, so we all do them very well, all taught by qualified coaches and everything. And the guy who trains our athletes is a guy called Linford Christie, who in the 90s won 3 100-meter gold medals at the Worlds and Olympics. And our most famous guest from 2010 until he retired was Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt in the Jamaican sprint team, who still come to Brunel every summer, always turned up whenever the Diamond League meetings were on in Europe. They could have chosen any university in the world, but they came to Brunel continually year upon year. And we have, I would say, almost half of the Great Britain track and field team are either current or former students of Brunel. We have sports scholarships, which are offered by Mo Farah, which cover anything to do with your sport, up to a value of £3,000. But we also have, which is relevant in South Africa, a fantastic rugby scholarship. We partner with a Premier League side called Ealing Trailfinders, and we've just had our 2 first scholars that have signed professional contracts, and funny enough, they're both from South Africa. And it actually pays for your full tuition fees as well as training with a professional Premier League rugby club every day. So that is something that we're really, really proud of. We also partner with Middlesex Cricket Club as well into cricket, and football is played to a very high level. I think there are about 28 different teams, that right from just people who want to kick about right the way through to semi-professional side. The small part of the tube opposite is for basketball, volleyball, netball, things like handball, things like that. And next to that is an absolutely world-class gym and an indoor arena as well. And those of you who like watching sport, within an hour, you can get to every Premier League ground in London. 45 minutes for most of them, but to get to the best one, Crystal Palace, it'll take you an hour, but don't worry, I'll show you how to get there. And from London, you can jump on a train, 2 hours to Manchester, to Liverpool, and everything. And within 20 minutes is Twickenham, and then 30 minutes Lord's Cricket Ground. So the closest Premier League grounds are Chelsea and Brentford. They're about 20 minutes away. So it's great for watching any type of sport. Wimbledon as well is only 45 minutes away for tennis as well. Okay, so sport is just fantastic. Moving across the road from the Life Sciences School is our award-winning business school. That was built in 2013 at a cost of 32 million. Again, absolute state-of-the-art facilities in there. And in 2014, we were the UK Business School of the Year. And since then, we'd worked towards the highest accreditation in the world. And in 2017, we were proud to say we achieved that. It's called the AASCB accreditation, and it has now propelled our business school into the world's top 5%. So it's a very, very prestigious business school now. And we did that mainly by running a very unique program. It's called Business Life. We're the only university that runs it, because we see that if you're in a business or finance environment, you're going to go in and meet a lot of software that you've never seen before. So we partner with Microsoft, and we will give you certified training on all of the Microsoft Business Suite, and it's all free of charge. We also introduced 9 different languages as well that you can learn, from Mandarin to Russian to Italian to French, and that's all free as well if you want to learn additional languages. But we have a business club which is made up of our prime business partners such as Coca-Cola, GlaxoSmithKline, Bank of England, London Stock Exchange, Chase Manhattan Bank, Marks and Spencers, and they will come in and lecture you what it's like to run the largest soft drinks company, the largest pharmaceutical company, and then they take you into their world. So you go in to see how they operate for 2 or 3 days. At the end of it, you get a certificate. So it all adds to your employability as well. So it's a really prestigious business school. Our MBA is AMBA accredited, the best, again, the best in the world. So for business finance courses, it really is the elite. Moving down the row of blocks going across near the trees is the undergraduate accommodation. We keep the postgraduates at the far end in the sand-coloured buildings down there, and the undergraduates at this end. So you can see if you're doing any course at all, really, the accommodation is literally only 2 or 3 minutes walk. And we have our own police force that patrols 24 hours a day, inside and out. So it's a very, very safe environment. Over to the right, there's sandy coloured buildings, the 2 buildings that stand alone there. We're one of very few, if the only, I think, maybe have our own 5-star hotel on campus. So if your parents want to come with you, or they want to visit, or family or friends, instead of staying at one of the very expensive airport hotels, they can actually stay on campus at a much reduced rate. Okay, moving forward from there, it's not actually in this picture because it's brand new, is our brand new computer centre. It's just been complete at a cost of £52 million. And it was built in conjunction with Microsoft and Apple, IBM, Toshiba, Virgin Media, who we partner with. And it really is state of the art. Everything is digital in there. And computer science is ranked in the top 5 in the UK. One of the unique programs in there is our games design program. Every other university you go in, you learn how to design a game, you leave. But at Brunel, when you join the games design company, you actually join our company. We formed our own games design company called Octopus 8. And so when you come in, you become a shareholder, you design your game, you design the app, and then you market it and you sell it and you make money. And then you get to work and do your placements with some of the top games design companies in the world that are based in London as well. So it's a very, very unique program. Everything is geared up across every program that we do. We work very closely with industry. And if we see at any time that we think that industry can deliver a part of a program better than us, we're not too proud. We'd say, right, can you come in? So we often have people like Microsoft come in and other companies, they'll deliver the subject area, but then they take you into their world to see it and feel it and touch it. And you gain much more from that than just sitting, looking at a board or reading a book. We're very hands-on, very interactive and very practical at Brunel. We'd much rather have you doing it than reading it. Moving across the sandy coloured square building there, that is our engineering lecture theatre. We're probably best known in the world for our engineering. Many of our programs are in the world's top 10. We started mainly as an engineering university many years ago, but now we've developed quality in many other areas as well. But mainly we're very practical in this area. With the lecture centre is surrounded by 5 towers, which houses the various different disciplines of engineering, from chemical engineering, mechanical, automotive, aerospace, civil engineering, so many different 47 different disciplines in engineering. Some of the interesting ones, aerospace programs are probably the best, if not one of the best in the UK, because we're only 15 minutes from Heathrow Airport, and the chairman of Airbus is a graduate of Brunel. He's opened up Heathrow Airport for our students only to do their work placements. So the work placements are at Airbus, Boeing, British Aerospace, British Airways, Rolls-Royce, Virgin Atlantic, things like that. And our labs are world-class. We have a British Airways flight simulator, we have gravity machines, we have the only supersonic and subsonic wind tunnel. Students get to design, build and fly their own aircraft. It's a fantastic program. And a unique program to us is our motorsport degree. And I think if I had my time over again, this is what I would do. It was set up by 2 of our most famous graduates. The first one is Ross Brawn, who is the current head of Formula One motor racing. And the other one you probably know from Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson. So they set this up and you get to design, build and race your own racing car. There's a thing called Formula Student that we race on. The car will go around the world racing there. We also race and build solar powered cars, solar powered motorbikes, all sorts of different things. But the students get to go and do their work placements at places like McLaren, Red Bull, Honda, Ferrari, Force India, places like this. So it's just, if you're into automotive, it's just a fantastic opportunity. Some of the other things, we have marvelous politics programs, politics and history programs as well. We get to go and work at the Houses of Parliament in London. And also our film and theatre programs are superb because of our location. Within 20 minutes, we have 4 of the largest film studios outside of Hollywood. We have Warner Brothers that does Harry Potter, Shepperton and Pinewood that do the James Bond movies, and Ealing Studios that do the British films. And we also work in the theatre with Andrew Lloyd Webber's theatre company in central London as well. So the work placements are just fantastic. And for journalism and media as well, we also work with very close to Sky TV, BBC, ITV, National Geographic, things like that. So the programs and the placements are absolutely world class. So what I'll do, I'll move on to show you our fantastic accommodation. As I say, it's ranked number 2 in the UK. And the rooms are very large for single accommodation. And they have central heating, double glazing, fibre optic broadband, high-speed Wi-Fi. You have your own desk, storage for your books, storage for your clothes. We provide the bedding if you wish. But the biggest advantage is that you have your own bathroom as well. So you're not sharing a bathroom, and you're not sharing a room. You only share a kitchen with the students on your floor. So that's 6 to a maximum of 8. But there's a minimum of 2 fridge freezers, 2 cookers. You have your own lockable cupboard space. All you do is clean the dishes. The cleaners clean up the rest of the mess every day. If you want to borrow vacuum cleaners, irons, ironing boards, it's all there for you. and every other block has a fully equipped laundry with washers, dryers, things like that. If you want to put things in your room, such as TVs, microwaves, mini fridges, you can do that, put things on the wall, it's no problem. Security is paramount for us. As I mentioned, we have our own police force that patrols 24 hours a day inside and out. But to get into your room is with your ID card. You scan at the front door, it lets you in. You scan at the elevator, it takes you to your floor. And there's a double lock on the door and a panic button on every floor. So it's very, very safe and very secure. Excuse me. We found a few years ago that some students were getting homesick, which is understandable if you've never been away from your home before. So what we did, we've introduced what we call a Brunel buddy scheme. And so before you arrive, we'll match you with a current student from your country. And so you'll get to know them, and then you can ask them about the program, about what there is to do inside, outside the campus, where to go, everything. So it just breaks down the barriers. It breaks the ice before you arrive. And then when you arrive at Heathrow Airport, which is a very scary thing, it's the busiest airport in the world when COVID isn't around. And I've often thought when I travel back and those doors open, it's so busy, so many signs. How would a student who's never been abroad before find their way? Well, when that door opens, the person you've been talking to will be there to meet you. And you'll come out, they'll pick you up, bring you back in a taxi, show you to your room, show you where to register. The first night, the international students cook you dinner. Then there'll be a party because we have a nightclub on campus. And then the next day, our sports centre turns into a huge event because we have nearly 200 clubs, sports clubs, societies, interest groups, things like that for you to look at. And then we give you a tour of London, tour of the south coast of England. And then every other month or so, the students will organise a trip themselves. And we're actually ranked number 28 in the world for being the most internationally focused university. Other things on the campus, we have banks, supermarkets, we have brand names like Starbucks, Costa Coffee, Subway, fried chicken, all of that. But the main town of Uxbridge is only 5 minutes away, and we have 10 buses that will get you there. And you've got the links into central London, 2 big shopping malls, all the major chain supermarkets and everything. So you have everything on tap. And a lot of people say that London is an expensive place to study, but because we're on the edge of London, I've already shown you the saving in the accommodation, but we offer many discounts. We contact local businesses and everything, and from Sunday to Thursday when they're not so busy, cinemas, bowling alleys, restaurants will all give 1+1 free and everything. And then the National Union of Students will also have a website where you can get discounts to go in all sorts of places and different travel. And then you'll get an Oyster card, which gives you discount travel on buses and trains. And then you also get a 30% discount on rail travel, which saves a huge amount. Because if you book in advance, you can get tickets very, very cheaply. And you jump on a tube at Brunel, 25 minutes, you're in the centre of London. And from there, you can catch a train to Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam, Scotland, Wales, Manchester, Liverpool. 35 minutes, you can be on the south coast, on the beach, and everything. So it's a great place. And London is the #1 student city in the world now. And you'll never get tired. You'll always find something to do. So it's a really, really interesting place. So the programs that we offer, all of these have further sub-programs underneath them. One of the ones I want to mention, because very popular throughout Africa, are international relations programs. But we've broken that down. We still do it at master's level, but at undergraduate level, we spoke to United Nations, UNESCO, other NGOs, and they found that international relations was too general when people were applying for a job because they're advertising specific roles. So we spoke to them and we've broken it down into 4 sections on their advice, such as social cohesion, world population, security, environment. So you could actually pick a specialization area that you want. And they said that would be much better. If we have an applicant with that, they're far more likely to get a position than if they just have a general international relations program. So we're always thinking, always adapting, always trying to do what's best. So we have many programs there. And then our foundation, our Pathway College, offer these pathways into various programs. And then you have the postgraduate pathways if you have to do a pre-masters, if you have a third class there as well. So that just about wraps up my presentation for the university. But I have a short presentation because we have now introduced our own medical school. And the intake is 2022. It's a brand new and very advanced medical school, which is quite unique. It's a 5-year MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery program, a 5-year undergraduate program, but there is also a graduate entry as well. And the great thing about it is, which is unique, is it's only for international students. So there's 100 places available, and the entry is with your high school qualifications. So the minimum requirement is the equivalent of 2 A's and a B. Or you can, if you've already done an undergraduate program in a medical related fields, biomedical sciences or something, you can get graduate entry with a second class upper as well. There is no need to take a UCAT or a BMAT, but it could be an advantage if you do have that, but it's not a requirement. So that's great. It's accredited by the General Medical Council, which is the best accreditation body in the world. And we've really gone out of our way to recruit some of the best academics in the world for this, because it's quite a unique program, because there are no lectures in this. You know, usually medical degrees, you're having 50 to 100 people all in a theatre watching it, but we've got team-based learning. So you'll be in a team of 6, which you will remain with all the time, because I'm sure all of us at some point have been in a class with 50 other people. You've got a question, but you're scared to put your hand up in case they think you're stupid. Well, with this team of 6, it's much more relaxed. You've got a top team of scientists and clinicians, and you're so familiar that you don't hesitate to ask questions. It's a very, very modern and unique approach. It's exciting, it's engaging, and there's a lot more learning retention, because you're picking up so much more. You can ask questions all the time without feeling bad about it as well. But it's so modern. It's a completely based on digital medicine, which, let's face it, is the future. So you can see the picture on the screen there, and this is what it's like. It's augmented reality, it's virtual reality, so many new technologies, and it's preparing you for the future, which is the digital world of medicine. And the Navitas Pathway College are currently preparing a pre-medicine program, which leads straight on to there. And I understand that the price of that is very competitive. Most foundations are as expensive as the main course, but this is not. It's about half the price as well. And you've got smart classrooms, which you can see there. And it's just all digital, which is great, and which is the future. And some of our clinical placements, you'll be doing clinical placements from the first semester, which is very, very unusual, but you'll be doing them. And some of our partners are world-leading hospitals. The Royal Brompton Hospital is where the royal family give birth to their children. Harefield Hospital is one of the world's leading heart hospitals. Our main partner is the Hillingdon Hospital Trust, which is literally at the end of the road. And they have one of the best simulation suites in the UK. I mean, we went to see it, and these dummies are just so lifelike. They vomit, they bleed, they just writhe around when you stick a pin in. They're just absolutely incredible. So it is really, really ahead of the game. It's a very, very unique program, and nearly every medical school actually buys their syllabus from another medical school. But this is unique because it's been totally written from scratch by us and our partners within the NHS. So it really is the future. So that is something, and the applications are still ongoing. So the scholarships I'd like to talk about now is because everybody likes scholarships. For our main programs, we have some of the best, well, the best scholarships in the UK. When I speak to my colleagues at other universities, they're very envious because they sometimes offer 1,500 off the first year, 3,000 off the first year, but we have over 400 scholarships on offer. And our main ones are the International Excellence Scholarships, which are our gold award. So if you have the equivalent of A and 2Bs or IB 34, 35, something like that, you can apply to get £6,000 per year off of your tuition fees. But not settling for that, we also introduced a further 400 silver and bronze awards, and the silver awards are £3,000 per year, and the bronze awards are £1,500 per year, and those are given at my discretion. So if I will work always with Global for this, so I can keep track of it and make sure that they're going to deserving cases, so that people who really would benefit from that would be given them. And the 3,000 and 1,500 are given at my discretion, working in partnership with my agents on that. And there's also other, if you go onto our website and look under scholarships, there's other engineering given automatic £2,000 a year, physiotherapy, occupational therapy also gives scholarships. So there's a lot to give. If you've done your undergraduate at Brunel, you're coming back to a master's, you can get 15% off. And in the oil and gas field, those courses here are really high class because they're not held at Brunel, they're held at the National Petroleum Centre in Cambridge. And we're giving huge scholarships for those, scholarships of £12,500. So the tuition fee comes down to around £6,000 for that. And you'll get to do placements at oil rigs off of Scotland and everything else like that. So it's a really, really top course. And with the medical degree as well, we're also offering 8 £30,000 scholarships for the medical program. So that's £6,000 a year for the 5 years of study. So our scholarships are really at the top end of everything. And also we also take part in Chevening and Commonwealth scholarships as well. And the Chevening scholarships, I can give you a little tip there, because we actually host 4 of those. We pay fully for those. So they're quite unique to us. And last year, one of them didn't even get taken. So when the Chevening turned up at the campus, I asked them, why, how can that be with so many applicants? And I thought, and many people think, that you have to choose one course at 3 different universities. But in fact, you can choose 3 similar courses at one university. A lot of people didn't know that, and I had to double check it, but it's true. So if they said, if you'd had people that would have chosen 3 Brunel programs, they'd have been put straight towards yours. And they told us that there's 50,000 students apply for 1,000 Chevening scholarships every year. But if you would have chosen 3 Brunel courses, you'd have probably had about 5 other people for competition. So if you're going to choose Brunel, choose 3 similar programs, and you have maybe a 50-50 chance of getting one instead of a 50-to-1 opportunity. So that's just a little tip from me. And if you do reach the interview stage, we have one fantastic student from Uganda who went through the whole process, and he has said, if anybody get through that far, put them in touch with me and I will mentor them through the process. So if you do reach that stage, please do get in touch, and I can put you in touch with somebody who's been through the whole thing, and he's mentored at least another 10 to 12 students through the process successfully. So I would just like to play you a video. It's a short video, but it gives you an opportunity just to see the campus, and I think it's quite nice. I hope you can hear it and see it. Zoom sometimes plays up. So here we go.
We've just lost the sound, Martin. We'll have to reshare that video with everybody, Martin. The sound didn't come through all the way.
Oh, okay.
It's all good. Martin, that was a very good presentation. I really did appreciate that. I've got a lot of questions from students here that would like to go through with you.
Okay.
I'll just start reading them off and we can just have a discussion on each one of these questions for the students. So please, for everybody listening in, please just put those questions through the chat box or the Q&A, and I'll read them out to Martin and we can have a discussion on those. Martin, I've got a question here for one of the, it's probably a more of a pathway program question here. Brandon is asking if he can apply with his O-levels, and Brandon, with O-levels to an undergrad, you most likely will have to go through a pathway program, which is what the Navitas pathway program that works with Brunel. Martin, if you want to add anything onto that one.
No, that's actually right. With O-levels, it would need a foundation program leading into the first year. It's two semesters.
Brilliant. And Brandon, please do email me at george@global-education.co.za, and I will gladly get you into the right conversations there. I've got another potential pathway question here. Good evening. This is from Tama. You've touched on the placements post-qualification, especially for postgrad students. Does this apply to international students as well, and is it only for 12 months?
No, it's actually, it applies to every student, international they have the right to remain for a further 2 years, not just 12 months, it's a further 2 years. It doesn't count towards settlement. However, if they find a job while they're studying, so you do your 1-year work placement, a lot of our postgraduate courses now, especially in the business and finance field, are coming now with additional placements as well, ranging from 3 months to an additional year at postgraduate level. So and they're being updated all the time. So if you have a steady job and then during that 2-year post-study work visa, you carry on working for that. So you've got a continued work experience at one company. They can then apply to get you a tier 2 visa as a specialist. And then you can remain on after that 2-year period. And any time you remain on after that will count towards settlement towards the UK.
Brilliant. He's also got a follow-up question to, or he or she, follow-up question here. When would be the best time to apply for post-grad? I'm in my final year of LLB and looking to take on an LLM next year.
We have, on a lot of the programs, we have 2 intakes in January and September. So we're taking the January applications now. And from October, once this intake is finished, you can apply for September 22 as well.
Beautiful. I've got another question here. Which degree course do we take at Brunel that will lead to a chartered accounting qualification?
Oh, we have many there. If you go onto our website, which actually now I can say is fantastic. If you go onto any of the course pages now, if you look under economics and finance, you'll drop down, you click on undergraduate, it will list all of the programs. And if you go into each individual program, there's a toolbar at the top and it will give career, entry criteria, course content, the fees, the entry, everything you need is on that course page, including the apply now button on the side, where you can contact a member of staff from that department to ask pertinent questions relating to the program and everything. So you can find all of that information under one roof there. And we also offer Chartered Institute of Management programs alongside. So if you wanted to add those as well, you can do those in addition to your program. So we offer additional courses along that route.
I've got a question here from Carmen Hurlsman. Carmen, thank you very much for joining us. Carmen's asking, I want to ask if first year accommodation is guaranteed, how likely is that we'll get accommodation after that?
Right, we are one of only 2 universities in the UK that will actually offer you accommodation for the full duration of your program. Other universities will say guarantee it for the first year, but then after that you have to move off. But if you want to stay on campus for the full 3 years of your program, you can do that, and we guarantee that. But for off-campus accommodation, we're very unique in what we do, because most universities will hand you a list of approved estate agents, you'll go around, you'll look for your own accommodation off campus. We don't do that. We have our own off-campus accommodation unit. Every landlord that wants to rent to our students has to come through us, because a lot of the time students will move into accommodation, it's damp, it's dirty, it's dangerous or whatever, and then they cannot track down the landlord if something breaks. So now, when we take on accommodation from these people, we become the landlord. So if you have an issue, you come to the university, we fix it, and then we bill the landlord. And what other universities will not tell you is that when you move into off-campus accommodation, because you're a foreigner, you have none of this thing called credit rating, which they want in UK. So they'll say, well, you don't have any credit rating, you'll have to pay a year up front, 6 months up front. Then you have to go back to your parents, oh, can I have another 8,000, 6,000, whatever, which is a huge financial burden. So what we've done, we've formed our own cooperative. So we become basically your guarantor. So every student of ours that moves to off-campus accommodation, we stand as the guarantor. And so I rent my accommodation. So all I do, you pay 1 month deposit and then you pay on a monthly basis. And so because we stand as your guarantor, that is what will happen for you as well. And if you have any problems, you come back to the university and we arrange for them to be repaired for you. And we inspect all the properties as well to make sure they're clean, they're safe, everything's fine.
Thanks, Martin. Just for comment as well, from my own perspective of being an international student as well, something like that goes a really long way in putting at ease the anxiety with, planning. You've got exams, and then you've got that next year as well. So do look into that, and we can gladly share some more information on you and get you into a conversation with our senior counselors as well.
And the vast majority of the accommodation always is within 5 to 10 minutes walk of the campus anyway, because we are the hub of the town.
Martin, I've got a question here. Sorry, we've got quite a few months, so I think we're going to extend this webinar till we've answered all the questions, if you don't mind.
No problem.
We've got one here from anonymous attendee. Don't be shy, we're not going to bite. How do the admission requirements work with the NSC, the matric?
Oh, right. We do have equivalencies of that. If you go on to the particular course page and go and click on entry requirements, it will scroll you down, and there's a drop down bar, and you select South Africa, and it will bring up your entry criteria for the IAB National Matric, and everything will be there for you to view.
And just to plug in global over here as well with that as well. This is part of the service that we offer you. So we will look into your skill set, your qualifications, and help identify exactly what you need to, make an application to Brunel. And that's one of the processes why Brunel wants to work with us as well, is that we vet and go through all of this with you so that you have the best application to apply. Martin, I think the next question leads into that. This is from Chiemo. Chiemo, thank you very much for your question. How would you happen to have a rough idea as to the acceptance rates of the MBBS degree?
It's actually brand new, so they're going through all the processes, the interviews at the moment, because there's an interview process that goes along with that. It's called MMI, which is like mini interviews. So you'll go around each section. But if you go on to, there's a dedicated medical school page. So you can go onto there, and at the bottom, it gives you tips on preparing for the interview and everything. So it's a total unknown because it's brand new. So the percentages I can't be sure of at the moment.
And just for everybody listening in, all the links and the presentation that Martin has shared, we will be sharing that with you. As soon as we receive that from Martin, we'll then create that email newsletter and send that through to you as well. So do give us a bit of time. We will send that to you in the next 24 hours. Got a question from our Namibian student here that's joined on the webinar. Kuke, I hope I pronounced your name right. Thank you for joining us from Namibia. Martin, the question is, I want to register for Masters in Education Management Leadership. I've already obtained honors in Education Management and Leadership. Is it possible to study online or on a distance mode?
Not with us for that degree, because there's a lot of placement involved as part of the program, where you're going out into local schools and things like this. And so you'll be doing teaching as part of the program. So it's not something that we offer online. It is a taught program.
Great. And could you please send us an email and we'll help you out with that follow-up as well. Martin, I've got another question here on the chat box section. This is from Lubonwe, who's asking how many credits is the International Relations course?
Credits. Well, it's actually based, the International Relations is only done at master's level, so it's a second class lower is for the International Relations course. The credits, if you convert to like A levels or things like that, I believe it's BBC or the equivalent of BBC, so it'll be around 28 IB, that type of area which you can convert. I sent Nico the equivalency list. If not, I'll send it to you, George, tomorrow. I've taken it from our admissions spreadsheet, So it gives you a total guide of all the South African qualifications, how they relate. So you can look at a course and immediately know how that equates. I'll send that over to you.
The one I'll also share that with you as well. We have a discussion. Martin, next question here is from Nafbi Singh. If I have a BCom management accounting degree, can I get an internship?
Every student's entitled to an internship. So if you qualify for entry on the program, that is a given. You're allowed to work 20 hours a week during term time, 40 hours a week during holidays from the time you arrive, and you have the option to select a 1-year internship option as well. So you can work.
Martin, I've got a question from myself that I wish I had asked the agent that I was going to when I first studied, and what's one reason you would push a student to go to Brunel? What's one thing that you really admire from Brunel?
I mean, all the students say that the camaraderie, the social side of everything, because it's a single campus and we've got 150 different nationalities on the campus, and they're all on the campus. They're not all spread out across a huge area in off-campus accommodation. Everybody's there, and every day it's somebody's national day. It's a buzzing place, and the social centre is the Hamilton Centre, and there's sports bars, there's a nightclub, there's so many clubs, societies, interest groups, volunteering groups. It's brilliant. You know, the library's open 24 hours a day. There's meeting rooms. There's everything, and it's just so many Facebook pages. If you go onto it, just search Brunel University Facebook pages. There's so much going on, and even in these COVID times, I've got lots of Ghanaian students over on full scholarship, and I said, "Oh yeah, we all met up on the green. We all met this," and it's just so easy to connect. It's so easy. There's so much to do. There's so many things organised. When you walk down in the Hamilton Centre, you walk in and the notice board is full of different events. Even now, you know, whether it's quizzes, whether it's, you know, now we can have trips out. And immediately they've got, you know, a boat trip organised down the River Thames and things like that. It's because people come abroad for the experience, you know, the international experience. But if you don't know where to find it or where to look, but being a single campus, you can't miss it. It slaps you in the face. From the first day you arrive, you're introduced to the student union, and they fill you all full of this. And students will tell you, "Oh, you come from South Africa. We've got a South African Facebook group. We've got a South African interest group. There's East African, West African, Chinese. It's just everywhere. And there's always something to do. It's always somebody's national day. So you always see, you know, the Chinese going down with a dragon, or, you know, the Nigerians celebrating the Brazilian flag, something, and they invite you in. You don't have to be Brazilian. It's such a tight community and a friendly community, and it's friends for life, basically. You know, they said that you'll meet more friends for life in the first week at university than any other time in your life. And being that single campus makes it so much easier to do. And it's a very safe environment as well, because it's a single campus and we've got our own police force control. It's totally safe. You don't have to worry whether you're female or anything walking about after dark on the campus. It's patrolled, it's well lit, and there's lots of coffee shops and everything open all the time. And we've, like I said, we've got our own supermarket as well. It's a medical centre, pharmacy, everything's there.
I love it. It convinces me as well. Martin, I've got a soccer fan, I think, that's asked the question here. So Tama, I think you're in for a good answer here from Martin. Tama, who asked the O-level question earlier, has asked on the side note, how far is Brunel from Stamford Bridge?
It's about 20 minutes, about 20 minutes away. So yeah, it's not far. We're in West London. So is Chelsea, so is Brentford, so is Fulham. They're all within a mile of each other. So it's very, very easy to get to Stamford Bridge.
And Tama, if you do go to Brunel, I challenge you to have a good football conversation with Martin. I think you will gladly enjoy the conversation.
I'm actually an official scout for Crystal Palace, and my son plays. So he's actually played Champions League football against Ronaldo when he was in Cyprus. He played for Apoel Nicosia, and they drew Real Madrid in the Champions League. So you can have a good few stories with him as well.
Awesome, brilliant. Martin, two more questions here, or one more question here. This is from Carmen. How do the COVID regulations impact the student life on campus compared to pre-COVID times?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it had a huge effect for a period of time, but from this week, everything is back to normal. All the restrictions have been lifted. No more face masks, no more social distancing. It's only on London transport where they've said really that you have to wear it because people are crammed in those trains. But any shops and everything, it's totally back to normal again. You can actually see who you're talking to now, and people are really, even from the staff, we've all worked from home for 18 months, and I've not seen my colleagues for 18 months except on a Zoom screen. So yeah, I can't wait. From next Monday, we're due to go in. So I can't wait to go in for 3 days and just sit and see real people and have that chat and walk down the campus and everything. So from next week, it's going to be really buzzing. Really, great to get back to normal.
Brilliant. I look forward to hearing all the news and the stories as well. If anybody has any more questions, please feel free to put them through. Otherwise, Martin, I'd like to thank you very much for giving us your time this evening. Your insights are always invaluable to all of us at Global, and we do know that students do appreciate them as well from our side as well. So please, we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Any last words before I close off this webinar?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time out to come. I know everybody's busy. It's always a pleasure supporting global education. They are the leaders in Southern Africa, and they're leaders for a reason. They're the best. They're such nice people. It's a family business, and that's how it comes across. And they're super professional. Don't charge for the services. You can't go wrong. There is nobody better in the region to guide you through, whether it's with us, whether it's with anybody else. You'll go where is right for you. Unlike some agents who will send you where it's best for their bank balance, Global will send you what's right for you. There's no doubt about that. So give them your support because they won't let you down.
Thank you very much, Martin. Really appreciate that. And to everybody, have a safe evening, keep safe, and we'll see you on the next webinar tomorrow.
Cheers, George. Speak to you soon.
Let's catch up soon. Let's go Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Tottenham this week or next week anyway. Bye.